everybody, my name is Mr. Francy and welcome back to Mr. Francy Reads. So today I'm continuing on with my completed SAS list series. For those of you who don't know, I have a goal to read 15 series this year, and as I complete each one, I am going to do a video talking about that series. Because I am talking about a series, there is a spoiler warning in place. I will always put up a spoiler tag on the screen every time I get to a spoiler point, but I just want to let you know that up front. So today we are talking about the Aminas voice duology. So the Aminas voice duology is a middle grade contemporary duology featuring two books, the first being Aminas voice, which I gave 3 stars to, and the second one being Aminas song, which I gave 5 stars to, both written by Henna Khan. So let's start off with book number 1, Aminas voice. So the basic premise of this book is that we follow Amina, a middle grade student who is an Arabian, originally, I was convinced she was Arabian, but she's not. She's Pakistani, a Pakistani Muslim. So we explore Amina in this first book, struggling to live in her own skin. If she had things her own way, she'd be singing every day for the masses. However, she is told that the Quran forbids singing. At the same time, her best friend Sujin is about to officially become an American citizen and is wanting to Americanize her name. How will Amina cope with the changes going on around her? Can she truly have it all, or must she live life the way everyone else wants her to? So I went into this first book incredibly intrigued. This was a book that I have been meaning to read for a number of years now. In fact, I have a number of books on my 2023 TBR that I've been wanting to read for a number of years now. And so I'm always going into those particular books with even more eager anticipation. But the first half of this book did incredibly let me down. While there were some really interesting facts that came up in the first half of this book with regards to the Muslim faith and how it may differ compared to any other religion or to those who are not religious, and certainly the culture of the average American, I did find these little tidbits of information interesting, but unfortunately what I struggled with was that they were exactly that, little tidbits of information. We do not spend long enough at all on these differences in my mind, and maybe that has a lot to do with the fact that it's a middle grade book. Maybe Henna Khan didn't want to push the Muslim faith too much in the first half. I don't know if that was because it was middle grade or because she just didn't want to in general, but it was like finding a golden nugget of information, and then you get to look at the golden nugget for a few seconds and then it's snatched away from you, and that annoyed me. So one example of this was that Amina's family have this, is it a rabbi or something? I don't know. Have this guy come over who is a religious leader. So I don't want to say the wrong word. We'll just say religious leader. And he is there to help Amina and her family, her brother or brothers. It's been a while since I read the book. But they are preparing to do something at their mosque. So he is there staying with them, I think for a week or something. I don't know. Anyway, while he's there, he tells Amina tells him that she wants to sing, and that's all she's ever wanted to do. I mean, as I was saying with the premise, if Amina could do anything with her life, she would be singing for the masses. And this guy says to her, well, singing is actually forbidden in the Quran, so you can't do that. So Amina starts crying, which, what would you expect? She's a little child, and this is all of her hopes and dreams, and they've been smashed to pieces. And then she speaks to her parents about it, and they both basically say, yeah, no, we don't necessarily agree with this, and it's fine, you can sing. Look, now, that sounds amazing, and it was amazing to get that kind of process where she finds out that it's the Quran is against it, and then she finds out by her loving parents, no, we don't agree with that, and it's okay, and you can sing. But it was basically that short too. I would have liked to have spent a lot more time delving into why the Quran says that it's not a good idea for people to sing, what it specifically has against it, what Aminah could potentially do knowing this, but also wanting to still live out her passion. So what she could do to find a way to maybe even find a compromise. But it was just glossed over way too quickly. Now, again, I don't know if this was just a choice that Hannah Khan made, or if it was something she was barred from doing because it's a middle grade book, or Hannah Khan just didn't want to talk too much about the Muslim faith. I honestly don't know, but I went into this book expecting it to be a culturally driven book anyway, and I was really excited about that. So to gloss over things really did disappoint me. Now I'm going to quickly put a spoiler tag up on the screen because there's just something else I want to talk about, but it would be a spoiler. So we go throughout the course of the book learning a bit more about who Aminah is. Second to that, who Aminah is as a girl who is learning more about her faith, being a Muslim. We learn more about the relationship she has with her friends. And then, about 3/4 of the way through the book, Aminah is woken up at night because there is a phone call made to the family home, which is to instruct her father that the Islam Center, the Muslim Center, has been attacked, and he needs to go down and see how bad the damage is. It turns out the damage is absolutely horrible, and no one knows how they're going to fix it. Aminah goes through a lot of emotions and thoughts with regards to why would anyone want to do this? And, you know, it was, I think this was therefore a great choice that it was written as a middle grade duology, because we get to see this through the eyes of an innocent child who asks the question, why would anyone want to do this? Where I think if it was an adult, they would jump right into racism, issues with the religion, things of that nature. But because Aminah's a child, she's thinking, this center wasn't harming anyone. Why would anyone want to do this? This is just terrible. She doesn't understand it. The book ends, so we'll keep the spoiler tag up on the screen. The book ends with a lot of different religious leaders and participants coming together to actually assist to restore the Islamic Center. And I found that to be a really beautiful ending. I think it was just absolutely lovely seeing all these, as an adult, you know, I am not always privy because I'm not particularly religious myself, but it's hard to not see all of the issues and mini wars and things like that that happen in real life, all thanks to differences in religion. I guess it's like religious wars and things like that go on. It's something that we all may want to turn a blind eye to, but it's very obvious. It's always in the news and things like that. And it's just, yeah, it's tough to think that people out there can't just live and let live. You know, I've always had this saying, which is, do what ye will, lest ye harm none. If you're not hurting anyone with what you're doing, whether that be directly or indirectly, why should anyone else care what it is that you are doing? You do you, I'll do me, and let's all get along. We may think differently, we may believe differently, but that's absolutely fine because you're not harming me. So I don't personally understand the whole religious war thing coming from a place of being not necessarily religious myself. But I loved at the end of this book seeing all these different religions coming together to help fix the Islamic Center. And through it all, it really felt like they all were just coming from a place of love, which I think if there's one commonality the religion does share, at least from the religions that I have researched, it is coming at things from a place of love. And so I just thought that was an absolutely beautiful way to end it. Aminas does end the book by singing a song for everyone, and it was just a really beautiful ending. So while it was a rough start for me overall, I did enjoy the second half of the book and rounded up what was originally going to be a 2-star book for me to 3 stars, and I was eagerly anticipating book number 2. So let's move on to book number 2, shall we? Keeping that spoiler tag up on the screen, book number 2 is Aminas' Song. Once again, this is a middle grade contemporary, and I gave this book 5 stars, so it was a massive improvement. Okay, so the premise of this book is that we continue to follow Aminas, who has found herself in Pakistan, her family's home nation, where she's spending time with her family. However, as amazing as this experience has been, and as much as she's loved spending time with her family, life and school must go on, and so she inevitably returns back home to the US. Before she leaves, her uncle has one request of her. I want you to show people in America the beauty of Pakistan. They don't know this place like you do now. Aminas promises she will, but with racial stereotypes and media misinformation about Pakistan consuming the minds of her classmates, how can Aminas show America the beauty that is Pakistan? I absolutely love this book so much more than book number 1. For one thing, we open up with her directly in the nation that her family comes from. We are in Pakistan. We get to learn more about the culture. We get to learn more about her family. We get to learn a little more about the religion. I just thought that it was so well done. It felt like in book number 1, in Aminas' voice, that Henna Khan was really trying to hold our hands through the process and, say, I'll give you some information, some little tidbits here and there, but trust me, it's not going to be too full on because I know you don't want that. And then she went into book number 2 and said, okay, I've written book number 1. I'm good now. Let's do the opposite of that and jump right on in. And I loved it. I lapped it up so much. So yeah, obviously Aminas does have to return back to America because school and life does need to go on. And that was hard for me. Aminas did not want to leave Pakistan. I did not want to leave Pakistan. I was having just as much fun as she was. And then, because one thing that I will point out, they have this tea time thing that occurs. Apparently it's either a Pakistani thing or a Muslim thing. If you have more clarification on that, let me know in the comments below. But it's literally tea time, where everyone gets together to have a cup of tea at a specifically designated time every single day. And I love it. It's great. It's like, oh no, it's tea time. We can't be on our phones or go to the movies or even do homework right now because what our culture, or whether it's religious or non-religious culture, dictates is right now at this very time we need to drop everything and everyone needs to come together to have a cup of tea. In this particular case, it was chai tea that they were drinking, but I like chai tea, so that would be fine with me. And I just found it really beautiful because, a lot of people these days are ruled by their phones and technology and, different things like that. But so to have this idea that there is a culture out there that says, no, you need to drop everything and sit around and have tea and just catch up as a family was just really, really beautiful. Anyway, Aminas takes her, was it her grandfather who said that? Her uncle. So her uncle has the request of Aminas celebrating Pakistan back at home because not a lot of Americans, do. And the information that they're being fed is, they're quite misinformed as to things in Pakistan. And she takes that incredibly seriously and tries to find each and every single way that she can to celebrate Pakistan, not only among her friends, but her classmates. And they have to do, for a school project, they have to research a historian. And I don't remember who exactly it was that Aminas chooses to research, but it's someone who is a famous Pakistani woman. And there was an issue with this. But eventually, Aminas is able to do the presentation, and that all ends up going really well. So I appreciated that too. So just to some more basic thoughts that I had, I loved how Hannah Khan made the book entertaining whilst also teaching us all about the beauty that is Pakistan and the preconceived thoughts that people have of the nation. Aminas' love of music carried over into this book, and at one point she joins the drama club. Those two things interest me greatly, and so I was entertained for much of the book, even when we weren't learning about Pakistan. And so I was entertained for much of the book. Much of the book, indeed. The message was clear and really got to me. I really appreciated learning more about Amina, her family's background, Pakistan, and what I can only assume is Khan's background also. Definitely wouldn't say no to picking up more of Khan's works and gave it an overwhelming 5 stars. Now, this is a duology. I do not know if Hannah Khan plans to write a third iteration in this series. If she does, if there is a sequel to Aminas' song, I will absolutely read it, because book 1 got 3 stars, book 2 got 5 stars. It just got better and better for me as the duology went on. But I just don't think that that is the case. These 2 books actually inspired me to pick up another book, How It All Blew Up by Arvan Ahmadi, which is an adult male hard-hitting contemporary. And I wanted to learn more about the Muslim faith, being motivated by this series, but I wanted to learn more about the Muslim faith when it came to LGBTIQ plus issues. And that book gave me what I needed for that part. These 2 don't, for many and varying reasons. I think I don't even think we come across a gay character in these 2 books. Not that I hold that against Hannah Khan, not at all. It's just that because it didn't come up in these 2, and because I wanted to learn more about the Muslim faith through fiction literature, I was motivated to pick up How It All Blew Up, and that addressed everything that I wanted to learn in that one. But yeah, overall, I just, not only did I love these books as much as I did, but as I say, they motivated me to pick up more. So I honestly have to highly recommend these books, because if you read books and you love them, then that is fantastic. If you read books and you give them an overwhelming star rating because of how amazing they are, that is another. If you read books and they are so amazing that they motivate you to search out other things to do further research, then that is another level altogether. And so whilst these 2 books on their own, I do love them anyway and would celebrate them anyway, the fact that these 2 books motivated me to want to read more when there wasn't necessarily more that Hannah Khan was offering me at this stage speaks volumes to them, because I went into them just wanting to open up my mind to different cultures, different religions, different things that I'm not necessarily either accustomed to or a part of. And yeah, these 2 books opened my mind even more, to the point that I wanted to do even more research, which I really, really appreciate. I think all in all, if you are open-minded to wanting to learn to do more cultural reads, then I do highly recommend the duology. I think if you love middle grade, then I would say start with Aminas' Voice, the first book in the duology. If you're not necessarily a fan of middle grade, but you want to learn more about the Muslim faith and Pakistani faith, then pick up book number 2 directly and read it as a standalone, which you absolutely can do. The reason I'm saying that is because of the first half of Aminas' Voice. The first half definitely reads as a middle grade, and while there are a couple of different things that come up here and there, as I was mentioning earlier, they really glossed over, and that's, yeah. So yeah, up to you what you want to do. But yeah, I do recommend them. I'm really happy that I read both of them. I was not saying that at the end of the first half of Aminas' Voice. I'll be honest with you. I was saying, I don't like this. I don't know why I'm still reading it. And it's just really annoying me. It's not serving the purpose of what I thought it was going to serve for me, because I picked it up to learn more about the Muslim faith. And yet it's more about Amina wanting to sing, and then we gloss over certain points, and that's frustrating me. But because there was something within me that decided to keep reading, I am extremely grateful for that because I loved the second half, and the series as a whole got better from the second half of book 1 onwards. So that's why I'm kind of saying it that way. If you're someone who doesn't mind or enjoys middle grade, pick up Aminas' voice. If you aren't necessarily someone who enjoys middle grade but you want the cultural differences, just go straight into Aminas' song, and that will be fine for you to do. But that is it. Those are the 2 books. 3 stars for Aminas' voice, 5 stars for Aminas' song, both by Hannah Khan. Both books that I do highly recommend. But in the meantime, that is where I am going to leave it, letting you all go with peace, blessings, and so much love. Please do be kind and love one another and spread your sparkling energy all throughout the world. Who knows what CSL number 4 is going to be? Only time will tell. Until that time, however, and most importantly, until our next video, happy reading! Bye, everyone!